Hey, I'm Chikni Gwini, your nutrition and lifestyle coach, and today starts Women's History Month. So I thought it was only fitting that today's topic would be all about our menstrual cycle and explaining what we really should have been taught in school. I don't know about you, but I was just taught the bare minimum about our periods. I was taught that I bleed for about 1 week and your period is about once a month. But other than that, there was no real deep dive into our menstrual cycle, into how we should be eating, how we are feeling, what happens with our hormones and our bodies. So it wasn't really until last year where I took a deep dive into hormones, trying to fix my PCOS, that I learned about this. So today I'm going to give you what are the real basics of our menstrual cycle. But before I dive in, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I have new content like this every Wednesday, and I have daily shorts that you don't want to miss out. All right, so let's get to it. Our hormonal cycle is about 28 days long on average, but it could be anywhere from 26 to 35 days long depending on you. And this is counted by day 1 being the first day of your period, all the way up until the last day, the day before your next period. And our cycle consists of 4 phases: the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, the ovulation phase, and the luteal phase. And the first phase is a menstrual phase. This phase is anywhere from 3 to 7 days depending on the person, and this is a phase that pretty much every woman knows about because it's the phase that we are bleeding. I really thought that it was just the menstrual phase when we were bleeding, and then every other day of the month was the same up until the week that I was bleeding again. I just thought that we had 3 normal weeks and 1 week of bleeding. I didn't realize that there was 4 separate phases to our menstrual cycle, that it was just all over the place, that your hormones go up and down, the way that you're eating is different week to week, what you're craving is different week to week, the fact that on your menstrual phase you actually do need 100 to 300 calories more than any other phase. So if you are extra ravenous in this phase, it's not because you're just on your period and you're moody, it's because you literally need 100 to 300 more calories. So eat more protein if you feel that hunger. So in this phase, because we're bleeding, you should really aim to eat lots of protein and lots of fiber-rich fruits and vegetables with a lot of fats. In this phase, I love to make a big chili at the beginning of the week so that I have an easy meal prepped meal in the fridge, and all I have to do is heat it up in the microwave, and I have something ready to go for when I don't feel like cooking, but when I need that stewy, warm goodness in my stomach that's high in protein and with plenty of fiber. In this phase, because we are bleeding and losing so much iron and zinc with our blood, having foods like kelp and nori and pumpkin seeds is great because they are high and rich in zinc. During this phase, light forms of movement is best if you even feel like moving at all. A light walk is optimal. It's the best thing that you can do if you're up for it. A light restorative yoga class, but listen to your body. The main thing that I have learned with studying hormones and learning about all of this is everybody is different, and learning the cues of your body is going to help you out the best. If your goal was to work out every single day of the month and you feel like you're exhausted and it's your period, then cut yourself some slack, listen to your body and take that day off. It does worse for us. Does more damage to our body to force yourself to do a rigorous workout when you physically can't, when you're exhausted, when you're bleeding. Your body is doing so much in this phase of the cycle, and again, you're depleting so much nutrients and iron and zinc that listen to yourself. Go on a light walk. If you can't, do a light yoga stretch, touch your toes, stretch your body, move your body. If you can't, respect that and just wait until you're no longer bleeding and you can move a little bit more and have more energy. The second phase is a follicular phase, and this is about 7 to 10 days, and this is when the egg is starting to form, so your hormone levels start to rise a little bit. During this phase, our creativity levels are a little bit higher, so brainstorm, work on that new project, do your networking meetings here, and this is going to help you work with your cycle instead of against your cycle. Because estrogen levels are rising, we need to eat plenty of vegetables and lean proteins during this phase. So chicken, eggs, salmon, Arctic char, those are gonna be the great protein sources that you can choose from. And with the rise of estrogen, we have a rise in our energy levels. We're definitely gonna feel way more energized than we did the week before. So take advantage and do that walk, that workout, lift your weights, do a Zumba class if you're feeling up for it. But again, always check in with yourself and see what it is that you need. If you have tons of energy and you wanna go on a bike ride or a spinning class, then go for it. The third phase is the ovulation phase, and this is when the egg gets released. You could only get pregnant 7 days of the month. It is not possible for you to get pregnant any other day of the month because you need the egg and you need sperm to get pregnant. Sperm only lasts 5 days alive inside of you, and the egg literally only has a 24-hour cycle. So if you do it 5 days before the egg is still alive, that is why you can get pregnant in only this 7-day window, because the egg dies after 24 hours and it goes into your lining and it starts getting ready to be shed out. So this is a time, if you're trying to get pregnant, to do it. If you're not trying to get pregnant, use protection. This is also the time of the month where you are at your highest level of communication skills. So schedule your meetings, schedule all the conferences that you need to do here, and use your cycle again for you and instead of against you. During this phase, our estrogen levels has risen a lot, so we want to be eliminating as much estrogen as possible. So a great way to do that is eating the raw carrot salad. I don't know if you've seen the craze, it's all over Instagram and all over TikTok, but everybody's talking about eating a daily raw carrot salad. And if you're anything like me, I hate eating raw foods, and eating the same thing over and over again just grosses me out. I get bored of it and I don't like it. So I tried to do that once. I did it for less than a month and I gave up. I was over it. I just don't like eating the same thing over and over again, and I'm not a fan of raw fruits or vegetables. Well, fruits, yes, but not raw vegetables. But if there's ever a time to eat the raw carrot salad, it is during the ovulation phase. And because it's only a 5-day window, it's definitely way more doable than doing it every single day of the month forever. If you just do it during your ovulation phase, 5 days of the month, I think it's much more doable and it will help out a lot. During this week, you should definitely feel some more energy, some more pep to your steps. So take advantage, go on a light jog, lift those weights, do that spinning class, take a hot Bikram yoga class, do whatever it is that you like to do to work out. And again, always listening to your body. And the last phase, the fourth phase, is the luteal phase. This is the longest phase. It's about 10 to 14 days long. And this is when our hormones reach its peak and the egg bursts and goes onto our lining in order to shed and get ready to start the cycle all over again. During this phase, you might be craving a little bit more food. So eating slow burning complex carbs like beans, navy beans, chickpeas, or sweet potatoes is going to really help out because they're higher in calories. But again, they're slow burning, they're complex carbs, so they're not gonna spike up your blood sugar. As for the protein, beef, turkey, cod, flounder, halibut are great protein sources to eat during this phase. During the first half of this phase, you're gonna have lots of energy because our hormones are rising and they've reached the peak. So again, like the last phase, do what it is that you like to do when working out, lift those weights, run, go on a spinning class. But then in the second half of the phase, your hormone levels are going to start to drop because your body is getting ready to shed. It's getting ready to start all over and to start bleeding again. So listen to your body, do some walking, do some restorative yoga, and do what it is that feels good to you. And that's basically it. Those are the 4 phases of our period. The rundown is that our period is about 28 days long, counting from day 1 of your period until the last day before you start bleeding again. We have 4 phases: the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, the ovulation phase, and the luteal phase. So if you're anything like me, you might have heard all this information and got a little overwhelmed, like, what in the world do I do? There are so many different phases, there's different ways of working out in each phase, there's different foods that I should be eating in each phase, and do not freak out, do not stress out. That literally is the exact opposite that I want you to do with this information. Stress is awful for our hormones, so just listen to your body. If there's anything that you take away from this YouTube video, it's that we have 4 phases. Each phase, our body is craving different things, but in order to really understand what our body is craving, we need to listen to our body and listen and learn our own cues. So if you're extra hungry, eat extra protein. If you're not too hungry and you're feeling kind of sluggish and you think a salad is gonna help you out, eat that raw salad. If you hate raw carrots, don't force yourself to eat the raw carrots. Do what it is that's going to make you happy and make you feel good. There's no point in doing something just because you think you're supposed to be doing something. Your body knows best. You have wisdom and healing in your body if you tune in and listen to it. The second thing that you should be doing, if you have not already been doing so, is download an app and track your period so that you know exactly when you're in each phase, and so that little by little you can start implementing the different things in the different phases. If you have no idea when you are in each phase, it's going to be much harder for you to do any of the tips or tricks that I have spoken about today. And the last thing that you could do is, if you want my cheat sheet of what to eat in each phase, just drop your email in the comments below or send me a message with your email and I will send that out to you. And it is very easy and simple for you to reference. In each phase, I have broken down the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts and seeds, the types of proteins, and the cooking method that you should be using for each phase of your period. And again, this is not a overnight switch. This is gonna take you a bit. It does take some getting used to, it does take some adjusting, and it does take some learning in order to implement these into your daily life to better your hormones. If you like this video, please get a thumbs up and subscribe. I have new content like this every Wednesday, and happy Women's History Month.